everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for our crafting and gathering for patch 2.2. Today we are doing a few special things with our crafting and gathering. We're going to get started on something called Master Crafting. We're going to unlock the first tier of Master Crafting and get started on that, which is basically the post-game, really high-end, but you can also skip it if you wish, crafting that comes with each expansion. The Master Crafting usually comes in 2 parts per expansion. We're doing the part of the first part today, and we'll get to the second part later on in the patch series. In order to prepare for this today, though, as well as prepare for the other thing we're doing, which is starting to upgrade our crafter and gatherer equipment to post-game levels, beyond what we have right now. In order to prepare for that, we have a little bit of gathering to do with new gathering spots out in the field. Specifically, we are out here in the South Shroud area near Camp Tranquil, and we're going to start off as botanists, where at, is it 2 a.m. in Eorzean time? A gathering spot will appear for us up here. Alright, I want to get out of this spot 30 fragrant logs. That's a lot. That is a lot. Let's see how well we're able to do. Let's do Blessed Harvest 2, Bountiful Harvest, and that's about the best we're going to be able to do in terms of our GP buffs. I wish we had more GP, but this is the extent of our abilities at the time, for the time being. Anyways, I want to try and get 30 fragrant logs. There is no possible way that's happening, but we got a good chunk of the way there, 23. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait for the fragrant logs to respawn before we can get the rest of them. But that's just gonna have to be fine, I guess. We'll come back to it at some point. Soon. We'll come back to it soon, is what I should say. As in before we get to the crafting. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and head back to Camp Tranquil now. And in about 10 minutes, the miner spot that we need to go to will also appear. And hopefully I'll have my GP recovered by then, so be back in about 10 minutes. Alright, we're back, and in about 20 seconds the mining spot should be spawning here also by Camp Tranquil. And unfortunately it's going to be like another hour before the logs spawn again, and I assume we're going to have similar issues with the mining spot, so we're probably going to move on and start working on the crafting while I go ahead and wait for those to respawn so I can get the rest of what I need. But like with the fragrant logs at this mining spot, where are you? Over here. At this mining spot, we're going to want to get 30 of the umbral rocks. Let's go ahead and... Is King's Yield, Bountiful Yield really the best option? I think it is. So let's do that again. There's very little chance we're gonna get the full 30 we need, but... yeah, we would need like 5 per harvest to get that. There was no way we're getting it. But we did get a good chunk of what we need out of there. Alright, awesome. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and get started on the crafting, and we will come back to get the rest of those and what those lead to afterwards. So I'm going to go get prepped in Revenant's Toll, and then we can begin crafting for the patch. Alright, I am back here in Mordona, and I believe I am ready to get started with all of the crafting for the day. Let me just double check my notes and let's get started. Hello there, Guiding Star. You have a quest for crafters and gatherers specifically, and I believe you need to have one of your item level 55 tools that you get from the level 50 job quest for crafters or gatherers. You need to have that, and I believe have it equipped? Don't quote me on that, in order to do this quest. There is much to see about Revenant's Toll, but Guiding Star only has eyes for you. The name's Guiding Star, and you have the look of a carpenter. My goal is no less than attaining complete mastery of all things crafting and gathering, and to this end, I roam the world. But I must say that Revenant's Soul offers a sore temptation, the temptation to stay. I'd heard tell that the Adventurers Guild had thrown its weight behind this place, but I'd no idea the kind of talent pouring into the camp. I could tell just from your hands that you're an adept yourself. You have not flinched at the notion of a little hard work. One of your standing, you must have tools to match. Surely you must own some choice items. Will you not let me see one? Alright, yeah, I have a crafter or gather primary tool. Okay, just item level 50 or higher, got it. Well, good news, I have one of those equipped. Ah, magnificent, it is everything I expected, though not more. Forgive my blunt ways, no doubt you are fond of your chosen instrument, but surely there are tools better suited to you. Tools that require the delicate touch of an adept of your stature. As it happens, such tools are available to you. You need go no further than Talon here. He can be a mite testy, but he's one of the finest toolsmiths the realm over, and his selection is impressive. Now, he won't simply hand them over, you might need to furnish the man with a bauble or three in exchange. But for an adventurer of your skills, such errands should pose little challenge. And if you would walk the lonely road to mastery, why not petition Talon for one of his tomes, too? He calls them me cookbooks, for they hold some of the most complex recipes you'll ever see. But you'll have skill enough for them, I'm sure. Ever as a crafter ruled by a triumvirate. Wow! Tool, skill, and curiosity. May you prosper in all three. Combining tool and skill in such a way, I can't believe this. Alright, which food do we want? We already have some of most all of that, but I think the Rollin' Berry cheesecake is going to be best, because it fills a gap that we're currently... Yeah, it fills a gap in our food stores with the craftsmanship. We may now trade with Talon. After obtaining specific items, you can exchange them for gatherers and crafters' tools. So yes, Talon is going to be where we get a lot of our post-game equipment for A Realm Reborn for crafters and gatherers. Before we begin talking to Talon, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be getting the so-called cookbooks that were mentioned, the Master Crafting Tomes. In order to get this, we will need to trade high-quality versions of level 50 2-star recipes to Talon. Let's see. So going through the list of what we need to make, as a carpenter for the Carpenter Crafting book, we need a treated spruce lumber, and all of these are going to need to be high quality. We need a dark steel ingot each for blacksmith and armor, a rose gold ingot for goldsmith, a hard hippogriff leather for leatherworker, a Vanya silk for weaver, a growth formula delta concentrate for alchemist, and a sauteed querl for culinarian. The specific ingredients we need, we'll go ahead and read these off right now, and then we'll go ahead and start getting those master crafting tomes. Timed gathering. From the East Shroud, we need 1 trillium bulb, 2 silkworm cocoons. From Eastern Lenosia, we need to mine up 1 volcanic rock salt. From Eastern Thanalin, we need to mine up 6 gold ore. And from Kurtha Central Highlands, 6 spruce logs from botany, and 12 dark steel ore from mining. Non-timed regular gathering. From South Shroud, 1 effervescent water and 2 black alumine. From Central Thanalin, 1 rock salt. From Western Thanalin, 1 Garlean garlic, 2 copper ore, and 2 cinnabar. From tradecraft merchants in any of the major city-states, 2 buffalo milk. Next up, the next set of items are all going to be using our Grand Company seals. In total, we need 12,620 Grand Company seals to get all the Master Crafting Tomes. Specifically, we need 9 potash, 9 peacock ore, 9 lime sulfur, 9 hardened sap, 1 cooking sherry, 18 coke, and 9 animal fat. From querls in Eastern Lenosia, we can get 1 querl meat, and from hippogriffs up in Mordona, we can get 2 hippogriff skins. That should be everything we need to get started on the pre-crafting. For pre-crafting as carpenter, we need 2 spruce lumber, 4 dark steel nuggets from blacksmith or armor. Goldsmith will give 2 rose gold nuggets. Leatherworker will give 2 hippogriff leather. Weaver will give 2 silk thread from 1 craft. Alchemist will get 1 quicksilver. And culinarian will get 1 smooth butter. I should also go over the crystals we need for this. In order to do all the crafting to get our master crafting tomes, we need 1 fire shard. We need 1 water shard, 12 fire crystals, 12 wind crystals, 6 earth crystals, 3, I want to say that's lightning crystals. Yes, lightning crystals. 2 fire clusters, 1 ice cluster, 2 wind clusters, 1 earth cluster, 1 lightning cluster, and 2 water clusters. That should be everything we need to get the items we need to trade in for our master crafting books. So let's go ahead and trade for those now. Hello there, Talon. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at your master crafting tomes. Guiding Star thinks you're good enough? I hope he's right or we're all gonna be sorry. You are testy indeed. Alright, we're gonna get Master Carpenter 1, Master Blacksmith 1, etc. The first tier of Master Crafting for each of our crafters. Alright, let's just go through all the menuing real quick. And last will be the sauteed quail, which should be up here. Here we go. Okay. There are tier 2 Mastercraft books you can get from Talon, but we cannot get to those yet. We will get to them in due time when it becomes more relevant. There's also the Mastercraft Demi Materia up here. I think I'm gonna skip the Demi Materia. I will possibly come back to it later, maybe near the end of the A Realm Reborn patches, but there's not too much in here that I'm particularly interested in. It's mostly for making, like, themed weapons that are themed after the various primals we fight. There's also some better, like, accessories for crafters in there, but they only really increase your CP and your GP for gatherers, which is definitely useful, but not so useful I want to go out of my way and do that right now. We might do it towards the end of A Realm Reborn patches, though. Now then, we're gonna have to go ahead and actually learn all of these books, one by one, because menuing, that's just how menus work. And let me go ahead and also mark off that I'm getting these. Mark them off in my completion checklist. And that is all of them. Alright, just a moment. Hang on. Okay. My checklist was saying I had 15 Mastercraft tomes unlocked, but that's because the Glamour tomes are technically Mastercraft. Technically. And we got that a long time ago. Now that we have the Mastercraft recipes, we can go ahead and start to take a look at what those are like by heading over to this optional, well, back menu. Mastercraft starts at level 52 star and goes up through level 53 star. And then a few recipes that go off into Heavensward levels, and we're not going to worry about those. Okay, so if we take a look at these, we can largely craft a level 52 star. In fact, we can largely quick craft them even. But we do not have the stats to move on to the level 53 star recipes. At least not to quick craft them. Actually, wait, no, hold on. My bad. We have the stats to craft the level 52 stars. We just straight up don't have the stats to even begin to craft the level 53 stars. So we're gonna be very limited in what we can actually make right now. Some of these are used in, for example, housing. Some things are used for optional content that we might not even be covering in the playthrough. And then we'll get into what things like spruce plywood are for later on. We'll be getting to those eventually. But yeah, point is, we are pretty limited in what we can actually craft in our Mastercraft recipes right now, but we do have them unlocked, which is wonderful. So, let's see. You know what? We're actually going to be getting into spruce, plywood, etc. today, because the next thing we can do with Talon is we can start to get our post-game gathering and crafting gear. Let's see, artisan tools you have primary tools, which come from spruce, plywood, dark steel hooks, etc. So we could look into getting those, I believe. You also have artisan's gear, which is going to be item level 70 clothing for our crafters. And then you also, of course, have equivalent for gatherers. And you can see by looking through the items required that everything he wants for these is going to be materials that you make from Mastercraft Tier 1. So you're starting to see kind of how the progression for the post-game crafting and gathering is going to go. Similarly, Forager gear is going to be the item level 70 gear for our crafters and gatherers. This is why we need 30 each of the umbral rocks and fragrant logs. We need those for the primary tool and also for the hats. Do we actually need 30 of both? I don't think we actually do. We could do 30 of one and 20 of the other and be just fine because we don't need 2 foragers hats. Alright, sure. Actually, we can probably go ahead and go with that. Let's see. So I got 23 of each. Let's grab the tools, the primary tools for our gatherers, so we'll have those on hand. We are not able to do materia melting for them, unfortunately, but we do have our forager's tools now. We'll get to the fishing tools eventually. For the fishing, we're going to need to do some post-game fishing that we'll be covering in the next episode after this. Okay, so we've got our improved gatherer's tools. Let's go ahead and make sure those are equipped. Yeah, we're going from no materia to no materia, so everything's fine there, but pretty big boost to our stats. Plus 31 to our gathering and plus 18 to our perception. That's not an insignificant boost. Awesome. All right then, now let's start going ahead and getting ready to craft everything we're going to need. Yeah, craft everything we're going to need for the for getting the crafter's tools out of Talon, the item level 70 crafter's tools and gear. So you can mix and match, especially with the gear, because everyone's going to be all the crafters are going to be sharing the same gear, and that means you could also mix and match which crafters are going to be making which supplies to get which pieces of gear. It really doesn't matter too much. So how do I want to handle this? Let's go ahead and start with... Looks like I've marked for myself that we'll be doing 7 spruce plywood, 2 dark steel hooks, 2 dark steel wires, 2 rose gold cogs, 2 griffin skin straps, 2 silver brocades, and 5 spirits of salt and 5 spicy tomato relish. That should be all the master crafting we need to get all of the tools for crafters. And in addition to that, there's some other master crafting one that we're able to do. And that's going to be from Alchemist, where we can make 3 orchestrion rolls, and we're going to be doing that as well. You'll also see in the Alchemist Mastercraft 1 that there's a bunch of giant skull weapons for all of our combat jobs. These are all item level 70. They have an advantage in that you can meld materia to them, but at this point, all of my jobs have item level 90 weapons, and the giant skull materials. For the giant skull weapons, it's always going to be 9 diluted vitriol, which is an alchemist recipe. And that's going to be from 9 filtered water, which you get from Grand Company seals, and 6 vitriol, which you can get from treasure maps, or from or from purchasing it from the kobold material vendor if you're doing the kobold tribe quests. I think you might need to get to a certain tier in order to get those, but you get 9 diluted vitriol out of 9 filtered water and 6 vitriol. And once you have that, that's all you need to make one of the Giant Skull weapons from Alchemist. The other material you need in order to make Giant Skull weapons is going to be these mossy weapons, and they come from level 50, like tier 13? I think tier 13 combat job retainer ventures. And I don't have any combat jobs on my retainers, so I would have to buy these all off the market board, and that could possibly get expensive. I haven't actually checked how expensive that is. Point is, I'm not too worried about doing that. The weapons for the Heavensward jobs. Okay, actually, no, not just the Heavensward jobs. A few of these weapons have a little bit extra in terms of what they need to craft. The Summoner and Scholar each need enchanted rose gold ink, as well as hippogriff leather in order to craft, and rose gold nuggets. Looks like that's in place of the diluted vitriol. And then similar for the Giant Skull Star Globe and the other Heavensward job weapons are going to have a little bit extra that you need. But for the most part, it shouldn't be too hard if you want to go for these to make everything you need. You just need to either buy the mossy stuff off the market board or send out retainers with combat jobs on level 13, on tier 13 ventures, and you should be able to find everything. I'm not going to worry about it though. I did not even include the ingredients in my crafting list, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now then, with that done, I'm going to go ahead and get started on crafting the things we need in order to get our crafter gear. And while I'm doing that, I can go ahead and read out the materials we need. Also, you may notice I have... okay, I've only done it on some of my crafter jobs. On some of my crafter jobs, I've started to rework the hotbars quite significantly. I need to finish that soon, so it's all consistent. But I'm nearly at level 90 on all my crafters and gatherers on my main account, and I have rearranged my hotbar significantly due to the number of actions I get. And I like the new setup more now, but I don't have it set up on my Let's Play file right now. So I'll get to that eventually. Anyways, let's see. I said I needed 7 spruce plywood was how I was doing it. So I'm putting extra effort on the carpenter. Carpenter is going to be the one who gets us the actual gear, while everyone else is just going to make their own. Come on, brain, work with me. No, let's not actually change this to my endgame setup right now. Anyways, everyone else is going to make their own tools, is what I'm trying to say. Goodness. Oh, crap, my food ran out. I ate the food too soon. Let's see. Can we eat while we're crafting? We should be able to eat while we're crafting. Where's some? Here we go. Rollin' Berry cheesecake. Can't eat it because I'm in the middle of crafting. Fair enough. Alright, so brief awkward cut there, apologies. I realized I should probably do things a little bit differently. I was doing post-commentary over my crafting in patch 2.1, and I think I'm going to continue that because that just works way better. I don't have to split my attention so horribly. So, the ingredients we need for our crafting to get all of the gear for our crafters out of Talon. What I've decided to do is I split it up so that each of the crafters, of course, have to get their own primary tool, so that'll be a little bit of contribution from everyone. But for getting the actual clothing, I've decided to put that all onto Carpenter. So Carpenter's going to make 7 spruce plywood, and then Blacksmith will make 2 dark steel hooks, Armor will make 2 dark steel wires, Goldsmith 2 rose gold cogs, Leatherworker 2 griffin skin straps, Weaver 2 silver brocades, Alchemist will be 5 spirits of salt, and Culinarian will be 5 spicy tomato relish. I think I may have gone over that before. Apologies. Crafting is... I need to just get in the habit of accepting that I'm going to be doing post-commentary because it's a flippin' mess otherwise. And then, of course, I'm also including the ingredients for the 3 Orchestrion rolls that we're going to be doing, as well as Alchemist. Okay, so the items we need for this crafting: 104 fire shards, 92 ice shards, 146 wind shards, 62 earth shards, 72 lightning shards, 147 water shards, 22 fire crystals, 33 wind crystals, 12 earth crystals, 21 lightning crystals, and 24 water crystals. For timed gathering from East Shroud and Botany, we need 4 silkworm cocoons. Eastern Lenosia mining, 10 volcanic rock salt, Botany for 5 Zemail tomatoes. Eastern Thanalin mine for 9 gold sand and 12 gold ore. Kurthis Central Highlands, we will use Botany for 21 spruce logs, and mine for 24 darksteel ore. For our regular gathering, that does not require a timer. We have Central Shroud from Botany, 3 elm logs. South Shroud, we will mine for 6 silver ore, 2 effervescent water, and 4 black element. North Shroud, we will use our Botany for 5 cinnamon. Upper Lenosia, we will use our Botany for 8 noble grapes. Western Thanalin, we will use Botany for 3 Moko grass and mine for 4 copper ore. Central Thanalin, we will mine for 1 rock salt. From enemies, we can get Spoken Blood, I believe from the Kalongs in the tunnel leading from Quarry Mill to Earth's Fount in South Shroud. We need 3 Spoken Blood total. From Hippogriffs in Mordona to the east of Revenant's Toll, we can get 4 Hippogriff skins. And from Myotragus Billies and Nannies in Eastern Thanalin, near Camp Drybone, 28 Old Goat Horns. Next up, we can work on the pre-crafting. As a carpenter, we can get 3 blank 1 orchestrion rolls, blank grade 1 orchestrion rolls, level 50 1 star, 7 spruce lumber. As a blacksmith or armor, 8 dark steel nuggets. As a goldsmith, 2 silver ingots, 4 rose gold nuggets. As a leatherworker, 4 hippogriff leather. As a weaver, 2 crafts of silk thread for 4 total. As an alchemist, 14 horn glue and 3 enchanted gold ink. And as a culinarian, 1 craft of table salt for 5 total, and 2 crafts of dark vinegar for 5 total. From the either trading with the kobold merchants if you're doing the kobold tribe quests, or from doing treasure maps, you can get 5 vitriol. And then last is the faded copies of orchestrion rolls. We will need, from the Lost City of Amdapor, faded copy of the Scars of Battle. From Battle on the Big Bridge against Gilgamesh in the Hildebrand series, we can get faded copy of Battle on the Big Bridge. And from Theros Sirius, the patch 2.1 dungeon, faded copy of A Light in the Storm. Once we have all of those, we can do all of the crafting we need, so. Alright, I am back. You may have noticed that my hotbars are looking very, very different, and I was even changing them while I was doing the crafting. My crafters and gatherers on my main are nearly at level 90. I'm trying real hard to push them up to level 90 before Dawn Trail comes out, so I can, be caught up with the crafting and gathering, which I think would be really cool when I'm going through it on my main account. Anyways, I reorganized my hotbar on my Let's Play file to, mirror the new hotbars I have on my main file just for consistent muscle memory. And yes, I also did mess up. I didn't realize that Blacksmith's muscle memory would immediately finish that. Oh god, that was awkward. Thankfully I had enough backup supplies to fix the situation and get everything I needed. Alright, so now that we have done all that crafting, we can hand over a bunch of what we have for the Artisan's item level 70 crafter's tools. We'll just get 1 of each. Oh, I'm so glad I had enough backup supplies in order to get the second Darksteel hook. That would have been terrible if I had to wait for a Darksteel ore to spawn again. Or I could have just bought some off the market board, but still sucked. I don't know why Alchemist and Culinarian have to make so much extra, but whatever, it's fine. And now we can go ahead and hand over the extra spruce plywood for the crafter gear. Oh crap, I didn't mean to back out of the menu. I meant to go down. What am I thinking? Give me those gloves. The chassis. I think I ended up deciding to go with Carpenter would get all the extra, get all the gear because I just had a lot of extra spruce plywood lying, spruce lumber lying around. Anyways, that's all of our item level 70 gear, which is good enough that it, even with our, oh, I guess I don't have materia on a lot of my, job-specific gear. Makes sense because that's job-specific, and I would rather use my materia on shared gear over job-specific gear. Anyways. New gear means we're going to have a lot of upgrades all around for our crafters. Awesome. Okay, let's see. So, craftsmanship 379, control 329 goes to 436 and 396. Oh goodness. Awesome. We are now well into the range needed to start crafting those level 50 3-star recipes. But we're not going to yet. We're going to save that for patch 2.3, I believe. Will be the plan. Oh, yeah, I stuck a bunch of extra materia on my blacksmith for some reason. Why did I do that? Anyways, I'll get the gear all set up and figured out because, off screen, because, the fragrant logs are about to spawn again, and I need to go get 7 more of those. Alright, there we go. The fragrant logs have spawned again. We just need 7 more, and then we can go pick up our item level 70 Gatherer's Hat. There we are, 10 total, and I guess we can pick up a few unaspected crystals. What are these even used for? I need to figure that out. Anyways, back to Mordona once more. Alright, made it back to Mordona, and I did a lot of work with managing materia off screen. I'm like halfway through my materia setup, but I figured I should probably go ahead and grab that Forager's Hat now. Let's see, we've already got our Forager's tools that we can get right now. We'll get to the Forager's fishing rod when we do the fishing episode in the next episode. But for now, let's go ahead and grab a Forager's Hat, shared across all of our gatherers. Where are you? Last page. There you are. And there we go. Awesome, we can stick the new hat on all of our gatherers. Check out how it looks. Very nice little straw hat. And we can also take a look at what the item level 70 gear from Talon looks like for crafters. Alright, real quick, I'm going to off-screen completely rework all of my materia. These are currently base stats. 369 craftsmanship, 374 control. I'm going to rework my materia as best I can to get just the optimal setup I can. Focusing on shared gear first. And then when I get back, I can show that off, and that'll be the end of the episode, I think. Oh, yes, and also worth pointing out, yes, I did end up making the 3 Orchestrion rolls for A Light in the Storm, the Scars of Battle, and Battle on the Big Bridge. Alright, I'll be back once I'm done with my materia managing. Alright, I went ahead and got my stats up to the best I could get them with the materia I have. I almost have my gatherer's gear all maxed out on every single stat. There's a few spots where I'm missing like 1 or 2 materia, so it's like 6 to 8 points that I'm missing, but yeah, for miner and botanist, I've got 402, 394, 409, 397, so botanist is a little bit more well melded than miner, but they're close. Fisher's at 304, 264 because no offhand item. And then for my crafters, I got 399 and 390. I did not do anything with the secondary tools, just to save materia for when hopefully we can get some crafted gear that we can actually put materia on, but that'll come later. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Crafting! We finished the patch 2.2 crafting. We'll get to the rest of the Mastercraft 1 in patch 2.3, and Mastercraft Tier 2 will come in patch 2.4. We're making steady progress. It's just gonna get harder from here though, so yeah. I'll see everyone next time as we take on our patch 2.2 fishing, and get our patch 2.2 Forager's Fishing Rod. I will see everyone next time for that.